OPS is honestly such a good stat. It's simple, it's intuitive, and while it's kind of objectively less accurate than WOBA/WRC+, the difference between the two is actually remarkably small. If you're not in the know, it's short for on base plus slugging, and it measures hitters' two main objectives at the plate, getting on base and doing damage. So let's look at the top players by OPS so far in 2021. It's the usual suspects, filled with MVP winners and the game's brightest, most marketable young stars. Except for one name. If you aren't a super keen baseball fan, then you might not know who Cincinnati left fielder Jesse Winker is, and I don't really blame you, but he's quietly been one of the league's most productive hitters this year, being one of just 9 qualified hitters with an OPS over 1,000. He's no one-year wonder though. Ever since debuting in 2016, and even for years before that in the minors, Jesse Winker has done absolutely nothing except hit, but seems to draw pretty much no attention for his skill. So let's remedy that today, and explore and celebrate what Jesse Winker has managed to do so far in his short major league career. Winker was consistently a mid-level prospect through his minor league career after being drafted by the Reds 47th overall in 2012. His hitting was solid at all levels of the minors, with a 125 or higher WRC+ at every level from 2012 to 2017, culminating in being ranked 6th in Cincinnati's system prior to his full-time call-up in 2018. Looking at his scouting report, we can see Winker's contact ability was never in doubt, with a 70 grade potential hit tool, and he's lived up to the hype with a 288 career average in more than 300 games. The real question though was Winker's ability to hit for power, or really do anything other than be a decent contact hitter. He had a short call-up in 2017 before being platooned in 2018, and his performance was pretty much consistent with the scouting report. From his full-time call-up in August 2017 to the end of 2018, Winker hit for a 301 batting average, 21st out of 396 qualified hitters in the time period. He also had just 14 home runs and 21 doubles in 451 plate appearances, about the same as his minor league power rates. Despite this lack of power though, he managed a solid 130 WRC+, meaning he was a 30% more productive overall hitter than league average, the same as Bryce Harper in that time frame. A big factor in this was Winker's outstanding strike zone control, with an excellent 13% walk rate and solid 15% strikeout rate, giving him a strikeout to walk ratio 9th in the league, sandwiched right between Mookie Betts and Anthony Rizzo. In 2019, Winker was once again mostly used against right-handed pitching and set career highs with 16 homers and 17 doubles. Unfortunately, his BABIP fell by 50 points, his walks went down, and his strikeouts went up, so Winker's relative power surge resulted in a career-worst 113 WRC+, which was still fine, but considering his other shortcomings as a player, wasn't good enough to make him even average. From 2017 to 2019, in 855 plate appearances, Winker had a 122 WRC+, respectable, great even, but Winker was really yet to unlock his true potential. In the shortened 2020, Winker completely reinvented his approach, forgoing his contact-based hitting profile for that of a more traditional power hitter. His average nosedived to a pedestrian 255, and his 25% strikeout rate was 8 points worse than his career average, so that's not good. On the other hand though, he hit 12 home runs in just 183 plate appearances, en route to a career-best 544 slugging percentage and 146 WRC+. And while his average declined, his 388 on-base percentage was actually higher than his career average, thanks to a career-best 15% walk rate. When you combine Winker's excellent 2020 with his hot start to the 2021 season, Winker has been the 7th best hitter in baseball by WRC+ in the last 2 years, right between Bryce Harper and Trey Turner. So far this season, Winker has once again changed his approach, with a walk rate just half of what it was last year, but a nationally leading 344 batting average. His power has transitioned away from home runs and more towards the gaps, with a doubles percentage more than twice his career rate, which combined with his stellar batting average gives him a 602 slugging percentage. So Winker has been a good hitter in his entire career and become great in the last 2 years, but why does it kind of seem like nobody cares? Well, you might recall the title of this video is Jesse Winker Just Hits. That wording was intentional because Jesse Winker doesn't run. He doesn't throw, he doesn't field, he just hits. He may in fact be the worst fielder that is a regular starter in the entire league. Since 2017, Jesse Winker has the 7th worst ultimate zone rating of outfielders, but all the players worse than him play for AL teams and are more DHs than outfielders. Or they're Matt Kemp, who's really, really bad. Winker was rated in the 5th percentile by StatCast's outs above average metric, and in the 2nd percentile in outfielder jump, which measures the speed and efficiency of his first step on fly balls. He's also as slow as any outfielder in the league, with a well below average arm for good measure. What does Winker's terrible defense add up to? 5.2 career F WAR and almost 1,200 plate appearances. Despite being an elite hitter, Winker has been only slightly better than average as a player overall. He's definitely not bad, he's been an important contributor to the Reds, especially considering how bad their offense was for a few years. But if he were, say, a DH for an AL team, we'd be talking way more about Jesse Winker's offensive production, since it wouldn't mostly be offset by terrible defense. But for what he is, a guy that will hit in the middle of your order and just mash right-handed pitching, Winker is among the best in the league. The other side of this, though, is his platoon splits are among the most drastic in all of baseball, pretty reminiscent of a guy like Jock Peterson. In his career, Winker has an outstanding 146 WRC plus against righties, but a terrible 71 WRC plus against lefties. So for context, he's been JD Martinez against one side of pitching, but Elvis Andrus against the other side. Winker is the perfect example of a guy who isn't a star in the league because his game has very obvious holes, but for a team that can accommodate these weaknesses and put him in a position to succeed, which Cincinnati has done so far in 2021, Jesse Winker is a proven hitter that provides elite offensive production against right-handed pitching. Just keep him in mind and don't be surprised when Winker walks away with a Silver Slugger at the end of the year. Like, comment, subscribe, etc. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.